What are you willing to sacrifice, simply to be accepted? Your voice, the very instrument of your thoughts and feelings, your truth, that unwavering compass guiding you through life's complexities, or something even more fundamental, your shadow, that indelible mark that confirms your existence, the very proof of your being. Pause before you answer, and allow me to share a tale. Once upon a time, nestled in a tranquil valley, lay a town bathed in perpetual sunlight, a sun that shone a little too intensely, a little too relentlessly. There lived a man whose skin was a tapestry of rich, deep hues, a beautiful dark complexion reminiscent of fertile soil, brimming with potential and life. But this town, bathed in the sun's unwavering glare, had a peculiar habit of magnifying what its inhabitants wished to conceal. And for this man, it meant his shadow stretched far longer, darker, and more pronounced than anyone else's. The townspeople, with their pale complexions and sun-kissed hair, couldn't help but stare. Whispers followed him like persistent echoes. They feigned indifference, pretending not to be afraid, but their eyes, those windows to the soul, betrayed their unease. Fear flickered within them, a silent judgment passed with every glance. Then, one fateful day, a merchant unlike any they had seen before arrived. He was cloaked in robes as dark and mysterious as midnight, his face obscured by shadows, and he carried a small, ornate brass box that hummed with a subtle, otherworldly energy. He approached the man, his eyes, though hidden, seemed to pierce through him, seeing past the surface. "Your shadow," he said, his voice a low, resonant murmur. "It weighs heavily upon you. If you desire, I can relieve you of its burden." The man's brow furrowed in confusion. "And what?" he questioned, his voice tinged with apprehension. "Would I become without it? A hollow shell, an incomplete version of myself?" The merchant offered a knowing smile, a glint of something unreadable in his unseen eyes. "Accepted," he simply stated. One word, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken desires. Accepted. The word resonated within him, striking a chord deep within his soul, like a warm, comforting hand placed gently on his shoulder. Accepted. It was a feeling he had longed for, yearned for, his entire life. The sting of exclusion, the weight of judgment, the constant awareness of being different, all of it could vanish with this simple exchange. He hesitated for only a moment before succumbing to the allure. "I agree," he said, sealing his fate. The merchant carefully opened the brass box, revealing nothing but an empty void within. Yet, as he did, the man felt a strange sensation, a subtle but undeniable shift within himself. It was as if something essential was being peeled away, layer by layer, like a memory being painstakingly erased from the depths of his mind. Then, it was done. His shadow vanished. Not shortened, not lightened, not altered in any way, simply gone, erased from existence. The next morning, he walked through the town, a ghost among the living. Gone were the stares, the whispers, the barely concealed fear. For the first time, he felt invisible, not in a haunting way, but in a liberating one. It was as if he had finally been granted permission to exist without judgment. But soon, the initial euphoria faded, replaced by a chilling sense of emptiness. Invisible ceased to feel like freedom and began to feel like erasure. He noticed that children no longer saw him, their eyes passing right through him, as if he were nothing more than air. Friends, once familiar and warm, no longer recognized him, their greetings faltering, their smiles fading as he approached. He passed by a mirror, and his own reflection seemed uncertain, wavering, as if questioning whether it was truly him. Without his shadow, people didn't fear him. It was true, but they also didn't see him. He had become a non-entity, a ghost in his own life. Driven by a desperate need to reclaim what he had lost, he searched for the enigmatic merchant once more. He found him sitting under a dying lantern on the outskirts of town, the brass box resting beside him. "I want my shadow back," the man demanded, his voice raw with desperation. The merchant slowly shook his head, his dark robes rustling in the wind. "You traded it willingly," he reminded him. "You bartered it for acceptance. A deal is a deal." "Then tell me," the man pleaded, "how can I buy it back? What price must I pay to reclaim my stolen identity?" The merchant finally looked up, his face still shrouded in shadow, his eyes like distant stars. "You cannot buy back what you gave away freely," he said, his voice laced with a hint of sorrow. "But you can win it back, by standing where you once tried to disappear." And so, the man returned to the town, to the place where his shadow had been, a source of shame and fear. For the first time in his life, he stood in the brightest square, under the harshest, most unforgiving noon sun. No hat to shield his face, no hood to conceal his features, no shrinking back into the shadows. He stood tall, exposed, vulnerable. He whispered, his voice trembling at first, but growing stronger with each word, "I refuse to vanish. I refuse to be erased. I am here, and I am real." And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the shadow began to return, coalescing behind him like a loyal companion, a silent testament to his existence. Dark, strong, and wholly his, he wasn't invisible anymore. He was seen, truly seen, for the first time in his life, and this time it was on his own terms. Many of us know what it feels like to trade our shadow, to soften our voice, dim our light, shrink our brilliance, or sand down the edges of our identity, all for the sake of being accepted, of fitting in, of finding a place in a world that often demands conformity. Black people in particular face this agonizing choice when navigating the complexities of code switching, enduring the subtle yet pervasive biases of the workplace, battling the insidious forces of erasure, or feeling the crushing pressure to fit the mold, simply to survive. This story is not just a whimsical fable, it's a poignant reflection of our own realities, a mirror held up to the choices we make and the sacrifices we endure. Your shadow is your essence, your history, the legacy of your ancestors, your unique culture, your inherent rhythm, your unwavering truth. And the world may sometimes feel more comfortable when you dim it, hide it, or even give it away entirely. But remember this, you cannot be fully loved while being only half of yourself. You cannot be truly respected while pretending you're smaller, weaker, or less capable than you are. You cannot be free while erasing the very parts of yourself that make you powerful, the qualities that set you apart and make you uniquely you. Instead of giving up your shadow, instead of sacrificing your essence, step into the sun. Stand tall, unyielding, and unapologetic. Speak in your real voice, the voice that carries the weight of your experiences and the fire of your passion. Claim the fullness of who you are, embrace your complexities, and celebrate your imperfections. Here's how. Honor your differences, don't dilute them, don't apologize for them, and don't let anyone tell you they make you less worthy. Stop apologizing for your presence, for taking up space, for having an opinion, for simply being yourself. Surround yourself with people who recognize your worth without asking you to disappear, who celebrate your shadow instead of fearing it, who lift you up instead of trying to tear you down. And whenever you feel tempted to shrink, to fade into the background, to sacrifice your essence for the sake of acceptance, remind yourself, I deserve to take up space. My shadow is a part of me, and it deserves to be seen. You don't need to trade your shadow to belong. You only need the courage to keep it, to embrace it, and to let it shine. If this story resonated with you, if it stirred something within your soul, share it with someone who needs their shadow back, someone who is struggling to find their place in the sun. Subscribe for more parables that heal, empower, and awaken the spirit within. Stay grounded, stay gold.